All right.
Is it on?
Yes.
We're rolling?
Baker and Molassis. We're rolling.
Are we rolling?
We are rolling.
Is the oven on?
We are rolling down the road. We have a lot of back noise. This
A lot
might
of
be
ambient
interesting.
sound.
We do. We've got Jenga. We've got Cars in the Rain.
Yeah, and we have no George Martin.
We don't. But we have yesterday.
to fix it in post.
And we both had a headache yesterday from seeing that movie.
Yeah.
Well, this was a disappointment.
Tell me why you were disappointed. You like Danny Boyle as the director and
I
Curtis
love
as a
Danny Boyle.
screenwriter.
Yes.
And you like the lead.
I love the lead.
The male lead.
Hamish Patel. Yes. I really liked him, and I think he had a decent singing voice.
Yes.
And he was charming.
Well, I thought that of her. You didn't think that of her.
I just thought she was whiny.
I don't want to say that line.
Oh, you don't really like me. Well, yes, he did.
She's in the wrong column.
I could see where she was cute, but that's why we're heterosexuals. I like the guy, you like the girl.
Well, that's true.
We're playing for the
That's
team.
true. We're playing for the right team.
The team we were born with.
That's
Whatever.
right.
Okay. That might be a dangerous road to go
That's
down.
okay.
Okay.
The long and winding road.
It is a long. It's a long. But ours is more straight.
Yes, it is. Yes, it nice. Nicely done.
Life is a highway.
Life is a highway. Yeah.
Anyway,
So
it's worth seeing.
but it didn't totally work for you.
No, okay, and we can talk about movies that did music well.
Yes.
Moulin Rouge.
Oh.
They took all those songs and retooled them and put them in an old.
Baz Luhrmann's
my
masterpiece. I didn't think the same thing of Rocket Man. I know you like Rocket Man more than I did.
Rocket Man a lot.
I love Bohemian Rhapsody much better than I did Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Not in the same league with yesterday was such a disappointment.
Right.
Because they have all these tomes of beautiful music. They have 20 songs that they bought
Yeah.
the rights to for $10 million, which I think is a steal. And then they wasted that, not completely, because there's bits and there's funny bits and there's nice and there's really poignant things too.
Right.
But they lost opportunity.
Exactly.
I think.
It could have been a
Maybe I'm a little
profound, meaningful movie.
It could have been a film.
It could have been.
But it was a movie.
Right, and if you're going to spend that amount of money, make it a film.
Yes.
Totally agree with you.
Yes. So you give
Right.
it not a resounding thumbs up, but a thumbs up.
A thumbs up, a wimpy thumbs up.
A wimpy thumbs up.
All right, how about other movies that
Recently,
did,
we've seen.
Well, that did music well, like Almost Famous, right? I mean,
Almost
beautiful
Famous is
soundtrack,
classic.
and it was gorgeous.
It's a perfect film.
Yeah,
Cameron Crowe. I never tire of that film. It's a great example.
yeah.
Great soundtrack. Not one band. You know, it's Elton John. You know, in terms of biopics and the Freddie Mercury thing, I think has started a whole new category of bringing back this biography type of thing.
Yeah.
Or fantasy hitch to it. I would love to see something done on the great Roy Orbison because his body of music is so, and he had a tragic life.
I agree.
But it's tough to do and pull off.
Right, or even like the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah.
That would be neat too.
And speaking of music, we talked about it on the movie show.
Yeah.
You were just on. The wonderful Echo in the Canyon. Tell me what you thought about that as a documentary.
I thought it was perfect. I think the blending of the new music, the new people doing the music, retooling it for that anniversary show was gorgeous. All the singers were great. Jacob Dylan really has a great singing voice. Fiona Apple, very obscure women, but all beautiful and eccentric. And
Norah Jones.
Norah Jones.
I could just listen to her. Right? She's got a soulful.
Yes.
Bob Dylan's son, Jacob, is kind of leads it, and they do something that they did in a wonderful documentary. It's almost a companion piece. The Standing in the Shadows of Motown, which is the Funk Brothers.
Okay.
It's behind the scenes of all these wonderful studio session guys that sat in on more records than anybody, than the Beatles, Beach Boys, anybody, more gold records. They didn't get the acclaim. And they do that thing that they do in this film with going to music where Dylan plays these guys songs like The Byrds. They do that with their songs, like Joan Osborne.
Oh yeah.
She does a wonderful cover of a Motown song. So I think that really worked.
I think so too. And I like how they sat around and discussed the songs. I like that. Like Ronnie Spector.
Oh yeah.
And Jacob Dylan and and Beck. mean, I don't really know Beck, but I appreciate the fact that he's
Was that
genius.
Ronnie Spector's daughter?
Yes.
It was?
Regina Spector.
Oh,
no, they're not related. I looked that up.
Oh, they're not.
Because I was totally confused for a few
Yeah,
minutes.
'cause
I
it's
thought they were related, but they're not.
And I love the Ronnie.
I looked her
I
up
love
today.
Ronnie Spector. I love
Me
her.
too.
I love this.
So sorry, Regina Spector.
Yeah. But she was great. I thought you pointed her
Yeah.
voice out was
Yeah.
stunning.
I loved it.
I fell in love. It was like butter.
Yeah. I mean, all those recent concert scenes were beautiful where they did that tribute concert. Cat, there was some woman named Cat. What was it, Cat?
Yeah, that was a group. Yeah, they did a cover of that.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was fabulous.
And it's so weird because Jacob Dylan, my son works at Angelica Theater, and he was there doing a Q&A. And he has a bit of an attitude, Jacob Dylan, which no doubt.
Yeah.
But it almost takes that person to say, I'm going to do these songs and make a tribute. Because who else would dare? Like,
Yeah,
we're
well,
talking about...
he comes from Papa's loins. He's got a little attitude, and he's going to sit there and be able to go toe to toe with
Hold his own, yeah.
He's going to sit there with Ringo and be able to
Right.
talk to him, and Clapton,
It takes that kind
and
of a-
Crosby, and Brian Wilson. He's in the wrong key, and
Right.
Brian Wilson tells him,
I love it.
right?
Yeah.
Well, put it in E. You put it in B. That was a cool moment.
I love it.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson's one of my favorite humans of all time.
Did you love the movie Love and Mercy?
Yes, it's one of my favorites.
I loved it. I thought it worked completely.
I loved
That's
it.
Owen Moverman was the writer on that. And
I bought the whole thing, even though two different actors played it. Paul
Dano.
Dano and John
Cusack.
Cusack. I thought they did equally great jobs. Portraying his younger self and then his older self. I thought.
Yeah, I think that Brian Wilson, I don't think you can cover him easily
Yeah.
in a narrative.
His life is heroic. The fact that he's
Yeah.
made it to this
Yeah.
age. And
But what a
still-
genius.
Yeah,
though.
he is a genius. And Tom Petty had that quote. Again,
And he
I'm
talked-
spoiling it, but
He
calls him
talked
the
about
Mozart.
it being compared to Bach.
Yeah,
You know, it's amazing.
yeah.
And you know, when the Beatles were influenced by Pet Sounds and vice versa,
Right.
it's really it was really cool. And that's what makes me back to yesterday, which was so sad to me, because you have this, you know, the premise is, what would the world be like if you didn't have this music?
Right.
If you didn't have this, and I thought they could have done more with that. Like, that was that little secret
Yeah.
of those people. And I won't go and wreck the spoiler alert.
Right.
But like, he has this secret of like, no one's heard this music.
Right.
And how sad would the world been, because they brought so much joy.
Yeah.
And then
You know what? You just mentioned something I had not thought about. So there's a sadness to the movie, I think. Don't
Yes,
you think? It
yes.
wasn't joyful, which you would think if you found out you were the only one who knew Beatles songs. Well, there was a couple other people, but
Yeah.
wouldn't you feel like so excited because you could make not only money, but just like you could own those. You were the only one who knew, you know?
yeah, and I think you're putting
But
a
you
finger
just
on-
said something that made me think like, but the world would be sadder because there isn't Beatles music.
Well, I think that was the beautiful part of the
Yeah.
premise, that they didn't totally finish.
Right.
They didn't finish
They didn't
it
round
because
it out.
they had a moment that we won't wreck for the fans out there. But I think that you need to see it. And there's a couple scenes that are controversial, which I loved.
Yeah.
And the Beatles, the living Beatles on record, loved it as well. Gave the blessing to those scenes.
Oh yeah.
But it's all in the writing, Roxy.
Yeah.
You do. You're working on a book. I won't mention the name. You're doing that. You're well read. I say this, it falls on deaf ears. I know that people that I do my classes, they half listen to me. The screenplay is the most important thing in a film.
It is.
It really is. It doesn't matter.
And when you're given gold and you cannot Beatles songs, I'm talking
Yes,
about, and you cannot spin a great story, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, you're seeing not a great story. It sounds like we're really coming down hard on it because it's not a perfect film. It
Right.
could have been perfect.
It could have been.
So what's a perfect music film that you said one earlier, which is the
Almost
Cameron?
Famous.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
great
really good film. I mean, in a smaller way, Once.
Once
That
is a
beautiful Irish
beautiful
film.
film. Once is a beautiful.
I mean, it's a neat story.
It's a great film.
Yeah. It's
Underrated.
poignant.
Yes, that's a good example.
I even think recent, okay, did you see Baby Driver? It was kind of a silly concept, but it brought about how the fact that this guy who was doing like these bank jobs, he needed the music
Yes.
to get jazzed up enough to do it.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, it made me listen to the soundtrack because I'm like, this is cool.
How does Ray Charles movie with Jamie Foxx, and how does the Johnny Cash vehicle work compared to those? They're both Oscar nominated. I think Foxx won for playing Ray Charles.
Yes.
Joaquin did not win. I think, what's her name?
Reese did.
Reese won for that. And she's a good actress. She's obviously an acclaimed actress. Did that work for you? And I'm a big Johnny Cash guy too.
I remember loving it at the time, yeah.
So it can be done.
It can be
but
done.
the material's got to be there. Oh, I'll give you a perfect little a hidden gem about music that I absolutely will never turn off, and it's by one of our great living actors. And he was just born. His birthday was celebrated the other day, July 9th. The great Tom Hanks, in his only film he's ever directed. And it's a movie about music. And it's about that 60s era, That Thing You Do.
Oh, yes.
I love that little film. It's just the era. It's about that time. It's about that sweetness. Reminds me a lot of a Barry Levinson film that I like, which is called Avalon. You know, about in the diner. It's kind of a sweet time travel to a time when, you know, they were listening to their record coming on the radio. It's just a sweet movie. I love it. I love Hanks directing that.
Oh, Hanks is amazing.
Yeah, so that's a good little. There's a little hidden gem.
All right, good. There's so many movies I want to see. In fact, speaking of that.
So what's coming up that you're excited about?
I was I was watching the ESPYs and I saw scenes for Ad Astra. Am I saying it right? Ad Astra.
Oh yes.
So Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, I love.
He's
everyone,
making a comeback.
Everyone, yeah.
Right, he's been sort of gone, dealing with divorce papers.
I
love Brad Pitt. And not because of his looks. He's a great actor, I think.
He's Moneyball to me was.
Moneyball's great.
Perfect film, and he was
didn't
great.
get enough credit.
He was great in a movie that I adore, which is The Big Short.
Oh, I love The Big Short.
He is. Again. You take liberties with some of the material, but that's okay.
Burn After Reading, where he plays like the silly gym rat. I mean,
you know, I haven't seen that the same way, but I will. I like him. It reminds me of obviously Robert Redford. He's kind of like his almost.
He's got a sense of humor about himself, which I think is cool.
He seems like a nice kid.
And I'm going to give Quentin Tarantino's new one a try, but I have not been to Tarantino since.
Okay, so
Kill Bill 2 because he's too damn violent. But I'm going to try.
So let's talk about Quentin Tarantino and the fact that he's not. You can say a lot of things about Quentin's films, but one thing you can't say is he's not boring.
No, he's not.
So this is Once Upon a Time in America.
He puts it all out.
In Hollywood, I'm sorry. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in America is another film.
Yeah.
With Pitt.
It's DiCaprio. He's got the best actors.
Yeah, and they do it to Charlie Manson thing. I'm wondering how they're going to handle that. I've
heard that he was like retooling endings still.
Yes.
And thinking about what to do.
I'm actually excited about it. It looks like it's probably going to be. I'm going to go on record and say it's going to be his best film. I'm not in love with. I like Pulp Fiction. I'm not like it's like on the same league with. The iconic films of all time. There's too many things. There's too many good things in it, and there's too many things that bug me about it.
Right.
Dialogue is great. Scenes, characters, he's wonderful. Again, the violence trips me up sometimes.
I know, it does me too. It's just excessive to me.
Although I did love Inglourious Basterds. Anytime you can wipe out, can I say that on the podcast?
Sure.
If you're going to kill Nazis, you might as well go for it and just enjoy it.
Right, you can have fun with that.
Real Nazis in Germany, you're going to enjoy that.
And I did hear, I don't know if this is true, but there is sort of a hint that he's going to do the same with Charlie Manson. That it's going to be sort of like this thing where somebody's going to get involved and Charlie's going to be taken out. It's almost like a rewriting of history.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true.
Ooh.
And I won't say.
Your umbrella?
Yes, it was my umbrella.
That's good. Good. Raj, how are you? You guys sound good.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out there.
Yeah, you guys sound really good.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the name of your band?
It's Ron Kramer Trio.
Ron Kramer Trio. That's
Duo, trio.
Where do you guys play? Here
every Thursday now. So.
and let's take a little venue.
I do umbrellas
Yeah,
on Tuesdays.
Where I left my umbrella.
yeah. That's good. I like that.